Welcome to Moose Plays, everyone. I'm the Liquor Moose, and today we will be going over our match for Season 3 of the PDL playoffs. We are in Round 3. Basically, we are up against Mike, coach of Phil's Tits. And basically, this is the final match of the winner's bracket in our double elimination bracket. The winner of this will move on to the grand finals. The loser of this has to wait for the final loser coming out of the loser bracket, and then the loser will play that person, and they will play the winner of this game for the overall championship. So I did do a team builder for this. If you want to find out why I brought all these mods, go check that out. But as a quick overview, we are running physically defensive Mudsdale, physically defensive Heatran, speedy, bulky Infiltrator Whimsicott, Spadef, AV, Seismitoad, Choice Scarf Kyurem, and relatively bulky Megalopony, but like pretty standard, like just like fast return, high jump kick, that kind of stuff. So looking at Mike's team, he brought the Landorus, the Shroomish, the Mega Mawile, the Zygarde, the Ambipom, and the Primarina. So the Zygarde, Mawile, Landorus, absolutely no surprise. He brings those three every single game. Totally expected those three to come. The Primarina was a big threat to my team in general, so I'm not surprised that that's here. Ambipom I'm a little surprised at because he didn't bring it that often this season, and I personally didn't think it had that great of a matchup against me, but clearly Mike knows what he's doing. And then the Pokemon I did not expect to see at all, Shroomish. I was absolutely expecting Amoonguss like he brought last time, but he brought this instead. So looking at lead matchup, my first thought was he was going to lead Ambipom just to get off some like fake out damage. So to respond to that, I'm going to lead with Heatran, hopefully get up rocks, but as you see here, he actually leads with Zygarde. So seeing this, I'm going straight with my plan. If you saw in the team builder, I am going straight into Whimsicott. He always brings Spadef, Zygarde. Whimsicott is going to be able to take advantage of that quite easily. I expect him to set up a sub, as he does, and now this is an easy toxic click for me because I am Infiltrator, so I can poison him through his substitute. He actually reveals Extreme Speed here. That's actually the first time this whole season he's brought Extreme Speed. Normally his only attacking move is 1,000 Arrows, and he brings a bunch of setup. So, now seeing this, I'm going to click Knock Off because I want to knock off the leftovers that it's holding. But he actually switches out into Landorus, and he reveals the Rocky Helmet. However, from that damage, I can easily tell that while he does hold Rocky Helmet, he is not at all bulk invested. He has 0 defense and 0 HP. I think he had the Rocky Helmet there just as like general chip damage for the Lopunny, if I had to guess. But anyways, so seeing as that was a switch in, this is a pretty easy U-turn for me just to get out of here. My plan is by far to go into Mudsdale because that is my dedicated check to this. As he actually realizes that from the last time, because last time Mudsdale was also my dedicated check to Landorus, and he actually reveals Toxic. So this isn't quite good. Poison goes through here. Now here, I make a bit of a misplay here. I can't really say it's a misplay, but it's definitely a mispredict. So my 4 moves on Mudsdale are Earthquake, Roar, Protect, Toxic. Last time I played against Mike, seeing as he Toxic'd my pretty obvious Mudsdale switch in because he knew that Mudsdale is always going to be my check to this, I figured he was going to predict me again because last time, again with this matchup in our last game, I just Toxic the Landorus right away. So seeing as that, trying to predict that, I figured he was going to go into Mawile here, so I actually clicked Earthquake to try to deal some massive damage to the Mawile before it even does anything. But he actually just gets up his rocks, so he gets up his rocks completely for free, and I don't have hazard removal because I was totally expecting to get my own rocks up, which I haven't done yet. So seeing this, I was very unsure of whether he was going to stay in or stay out, but seeing as I already made a huge misprediction, I need to just attack what's in front of me just in case he does decide to attack me, but he actually goes for the safe U-turn, and he actually brings out the Shroomish. So I get a Toxic on that, but as we'll be able to see in just a second, he does not take poison damage. So this is Poison Heal Shroomish. Unfortunately, I am thinking that it's Max Fizdef with Eviolite, mostly to deal with the Lopunny, because that would have by far been either a Moongus or Delmize's role if he had brought either of those. So seeing this, I'm expecting either Spore or Leech Seed, and the middle ground play for that is to go into Heatran, as he does reveal the Leech Seed. And again, I actually make a pretty big misplay here. In my head, I'm thinking I just need to take the Shroomish out, and if he switches in anything else, really, I can get a big Lava Plume up. But in reality, I do just click Lava Plume here. But in reality, I should have taken this turn to set up my Stealth Rock, because that would have been a much bigger implication here. Now at this turn here, he brought out his Primarina. I fully expect this to be a spec set, and my prediction here is he's going to click Water Move, because he's got to have Balls of Steel to click Moonblast against a Heatran. So I go straight into my Seismitoad, which is my dedicated check to this, but it turns out Mike has Balls of Steel, and predicts me and goes Moonblast here, which is really unfortunate, as Moonblast actually, with my investment, Moonblast can't kill from here, but Poison Jab also can't OHKO him, so I'm still going to go for Poison Jab just to try to make the safe play here, as he actually does go into his Landorus. I think he might have been expecting a knockoff, but regardless, I go here a little too late. I look into it. Ice Punch unfortunately cannot kill from here, but it brings it down to enough HP where pretty much anything on my team can revenge it. So I'm going to click Ice Punch here, but unfortunately his Earthquake does kill me beforehand. So that's not, unfortunately I go into Cure him. Okay, as you can see, I already went to Cure him because I paused it a little too late. But anyways, the Earthquake was actually a roll if he was Jolly, but guaranteed if he was Adamant. I actually didn't ask him which one he was. I'm going to assume he's Jolly because I have, you know what, actually maybe not. There's a chance he could have been Adamant, but that's beside the point. So now that the Seismitoad goes down, a couple problems here. One, I lost my dedicated switch to Primarina. Two, I have a very obvious switch in here, which is this Kyurem, but this switch was very obvious. Like Ice Beam, like I'm screaming Ice Beam right now, and that's pretty obvious. So I want to click Earth Power here, and like the only reason I want to click Earth Power is to try to catch in what is most likely going to be the Primarina, since this thing doesn't actually get anything to hit super effectively against Primarina. Earth Power is the best thing I can do for like coverage for Mike's team and all of that good stuff. So I am going to make another bold prediction and click Earth Power over Ice Beam. Of course I take Rocks damage here. And he actually does switch into the Primarina. So I get some decent chip damage onto it. But now we're left with the problem of my Seismitoad dying. And now I have no good switch into this. So I have to make a decision. Pretty much something has to go down here. At this moment, he hasn't even brought in his Mawile, and I really need my Heatran for that. In a pinch, like Lopunny and Kyurem both have too much offensive implications against his team for me to let go down. In the end, it's between Whimsicott and Mudsdale here. Whimsicott can really only check the Zygarde, and it basically got what it needed to do done. It Toxic the Zygarde. So because of that, since Mudsdale can like half-ass check both the Landorus and the Zygarde, whereas Whimsicott can only check one, I decide to let Whimsicott go down here. Pardon my mouse. So I have to switch out into this as he reveals the Scald. As now that Seismitoad is dead, he is completely free to click Water moves. With my Dying Breath, I just decide to knock off here, in case for some unknown reason that he does decide to switch out instead. But yeah, that regardless. So now here, I definitely need to pressure out this Primarina. The only way for me to do that right now is to go into my Mega Lopunny. So here, I am totally expecting him to go into Mawile. He did this last time I played against him too. I think he was partly expecting a priority move, because I think he thought I would run Fake Out, but what I do instead, because I'm expecting his Mawile to come in, I'm actually going to Power Up Punch, so that way, after the Intimidate, I can still be at least neutral power. As he actually does go into Mawile here, it would have been a huge problem if Primarina stayed in. But anyways, I get the Power Up Punch off here, I go to neutral attack, and here, High Jump Kick is a rule to kill, but it's a roll pretty heavily in my favor. I think it's only the lowest 3 rolls don't kill, or something like that. Assuming he's Jolly, which he normally runs. So I just have to go for the HJK, and I do kill him. Ugh, excuse me. So now here, Mike will go into his Shroomish. And now is when I'm realizing that when I first Toxic it, I thought he would just have Toxic Orb. But now is when I'm realizing, wait, why would this have a Toxic Orb? It's a Shroomish, it should have Eviolite. And High Jump Kick to the Shroomish does 50% on a good day. So, unfortunately I need to get out of here. Again, I'm half between Spore and Leech Seed. Like, predicting Spore would mean Mudsdale is a good switch-in, but Mudsdale can't do anything back to it. Either with Heatran, it could go either way. I really just need to go into Heatran here, predicting either one of the Leech Seed or the Spore. So go into Heatran here, and he reveals to use Spore instead. So, with that in mind, with Heatran asleep, I fully anticipated him to go into either Landorus or Zygarde here, and just try to spam ground attacks right now, as I don't have a resist. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to double out into Kyurem and try to offensively pressure with an Ice-type attack. However, Mike does not bite. He just went and clicked Leech Seed instead. Really unfortunate, but hey, what can you do? So now, I'm checking the calc, and again, Ice Beam is obvious. But like, look at his team. Other than Primarina, Ice Beam is definitely the play against this. Or maybe that's another turn. No, okay, I think I click Earth Power here. I honestly don't remember. He actually goes Protect, right, okay. So, I click Ice Beam here, he protects. So seeing that, now that he sees that, I think he was predicting me to be choiced because he does switch out here. Me, I am fully anticipating his Primarina to show up here, and because of that, obviously Kyurem can't do anything to Primarina, so I'm actually going to switch out into Lopunny to try to offensively pressure it. And once again, we see that like getting up the rocks would have been important here, because then all of this chip damage on the Primarina would have definitely mattered. It just would have so mattered. He actually switches into Landorus. I have to go for the safe return to try to pressure the Primarina. And actually, we see from here, return is actually a guaranteed 2-hit KO here, so that was an easy kill for Lopunny. Lopunny is proving to be by far the main win condition of this game for me right now. It's by far the way I'm going to be able to get back into this game. So as his Landorus goes down, he goes into Ambipom, and here is a really big turn. So, I am anticipating Ambipom to go Fake Out, because he needs some big damage on this Lopunny in order to take it down. So because I'm anticipating Fake Out, I'm going to switch into my Heatran, and he'll be able to tank the hit no problem, and then I will also be able to burn a turn of sleep. So I go into Heatran, but he reveals the low kick, and he crits me. So, well, I'll let him go down. So with that in mind, first of all, I mean, low kick. I wasn't expecting low kick, but upon looking at my team, the play did make sense because I had 3 Ice Weak Pokemon plus a heavy Pokemon in Mudsdale anyways. Low kick does make a lot of sense. However, that crit actually really did matter. I was at 56% health right there, and without crit, low kick did a max of 46. So Heatran would have actually survived and burned a turn of sleep. In one sense, all I can really say is it would have been a different game from here on out, because right now, what probably would have happened for me was I would have switched into Mudsdale and to take a hit, and then like the game would have progressed from there. Heatran would have stayed alive. I don't know. If anything, it probably just would have been sack fodder, because after leftover, I would have been at 10% after the low kick. After leftovers, would have been at 16, and then when I switched in again on rocks, I would go down to 8. Or sorry, 4%, not 8. So in reality, it was probably just a sack, but nevertheless, the crit did matter here. All I can say is it would have been a different. It could have been a different game. Maybe the result's the same. Who knows? But anyways, to pressure this, I have to go into Cure him, because Lopunny is an easy bring into the Shroomish, and I'm doing the calcs here. Ice Beam obviously does a big number to this Ambipom, but I needed to calc how much damage 2 Ice Beams would have done, and it's actually a roll to kill from the percentage that Primarina's out. He obviously can live 1, that's pretty obvious. It's a roll for the second one though. But the only way I can get back into this game is by trying to make plays. So I obviously get off the 1 Ice Beam, and it does 26%. Seeing that, it looks like I can kill, but unfortunately I do not get the roll, and he can kill me with Scald. So going back to the early turns, when I was saying that getting the Rocks Up was a big misplay, I mean, this Primarina's dead right now, if I have Rocks Up. Just straight up. It might have even died to 1 Ice Beam instead of 2, but either way, like, this Primarina would have been dead if, if I just had Rocks Up. So that Lava Plume in the beginning was a big misplay. Should have been Rocks, but that's beside the point now. So the only way to pressure this, like, in my head I'm thinking the only way I can win this right now is with +1 Lopunny, so I need to go in here. I need to go Power Up Punch to kill the Primarina, and then have a bunch of revengeable stuff. So he lets Primarina go down here. Obviously, I go to +1 attack. He goes into Ambipom, and he goes Fake Out, which does a big chunk to me. But at +1, I can actually OHKO the Ambipom with Return, but he actually switches out into Zygarde, and this is where it gets a little tricky. And the decision making is starting to come into a little more effect. I'll let the Toxic play out and all that stuff. Okay. So seeing that, I do the calc, and because I know he has no attack investment, Extreme Speed does not kill him here. However, what does happen here is once I kill this Zygarde with Return, all he does is switch in Ambipom, and he clicks Fake Out, and my Lopunny's gone, and then that's basically the game, because Mudsdale is toxic and it can't really touch the Shroomish. So with that in mind, I decide to actually switch out into Mudsdale, because right now, I don't know, I need to do something. I need to do something out of the ordinary. My original thought was kill the Zygarde, survive, and then switch in the Mudsdale onto the Ambipom, but I don't know, like, I decided against it because in my head I was just like, I need to make plays because I need to not do the obvious thing. So I go into Mudsdale here. In hindsight, it didn't really make a difference on the game other than differential, but it's playoffs, so differential doesn't matter. Unfortunately, after this, I mean, you can see what's going to happen here. He's going to switch out into his Shroomish, and unfortunately, the two between Mudsdale and Lopunny, unfortunately, are not going to be able to break the Shroomish. So you are going to watch me, for these final few turns, just lose to a stupid Shroomish. But otherwise, so it is a 3-0 loss for me. Differential doesn't really matter, but GG to Mike. Obviously, he played a great game. A few mispredictions and misplays on my side, but I mean, sometimes it happens. It's just part of the game sometimes when you can't break it. Yeah, like, you'll see here, like, Shroomish is actually a huge pain in the ass right now. Like high jump kick from this does 50. And then he'll just Leech Seed me and recover like 75% of that back. It's ridiculous. But anyways, so yeah, I do lose here, but it's not over for Team Bump and Dump. So again, like I said before, I have to wait until the winner of the losing, the rest of the winners of the losing bracket are decided. I will be playing either Matt once again or Steven. Both of them will be really close games. It'll be really nuts, but all I can do is just bounce back hard from this win, try to beat whoever, try to beat either Matt or Steven, whoever wins between them, and then I have to, and then if I beat them, I'll have to beat Mike twice in the finals because he still hasn't lost yet. So yeah, that was that battle. Sorry again, by the way. There was a week delay because they wanted this match to be played during the top 4 part of the bracket, which was this week, not last week. So anyways, because we lost this game, I don't have another week break. I will be playing either the winners. I will be playing either Steven or Matt next week. So yep, keep your eye out on the channel for the team builder for that video. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.